How's it going there, everyone? It's Mr. Zen over here bringing you guys a brand new Drifters anime episode discussion. And for today's segment, guys, we are going to be talking about Drifters episode 3, guys. And woo! I gotta tell you guys, Drifters is actually getting pretty interesting. Even though I'm a little bit behind on Drifter, guys. Oh my god, I am trying to catch up so fast that this whole entire week, guys, I'm really going to try to catch up. Tomorrow, I will also upload a brand new Drifters episode discussion because oh my god, I could literally tell that this series is actually going very well with the brand new installment of characters that have been introduced from this episode, guys. From this episode, many viewers are actually going to enjoy this series, guys, due to the fact that not only due to the characters that are involved, but the setting itself, that the way that it's actually being placed and being choreographed now in this episode, guys, was very well thought out, that you're just wondering as to how and what each character is going to be playing out from the series now, guys. And like I said, though, it's very interesting, and we're actually getting involved with a brand new set of villains, and we're actually told as to who the villains are in this actual series too, guys. We are involved with the Black King, guys. Granted, holy snap, the Black King's army is one fearful army itself, guys. Oh my god, when I actually think of the Black Army, I'm sorry, the Black King's army, you would think of the Jedi's arch nemesis, the Sith. Think of them like that. Like, holy snap. That's how evil they actually are, guys. But granted though, guys, let's get to this review because due to the fact that, like I said, this episode was very interesting. So, without further ado, guys, let's get started. And basically, this anime episode, like I said, was very much entitled to very much exposition, but with lots of action in between each of the very episodes. I love the way that the episode actually explain itself, dude, while there was still so much action going on at the same time. I did love that actually about this episode, because you're bombarded with so much information, and yet you're kind of still glued to it. You're not going to be bored as to reading and hearing everything that's been given to you in this episode. So you're actually kind of interested more and more and more. And even with the characters themselves, how they're slowly being introduced in this episode, it actually gives it more appeal to it to many viewers, guys. Granted though, I had a lot of favorite scenes in this episode too, guys. Holy cow, I can't recall how many times I actually was just gasping through the whole entire time, and I was just rooting for the Drifters in this episode, guys. Like, holy snap, it was actually very interesting. But like I said though, guys, the episode itself had very two comical relief parts, guys, and that itself was basically in the beginning where we're introduced to two new drifters called Hannibal and Scipio, and they were basically Roman Empire leaders. And these two characters, like the way they introduced them, they were introduced in a way that it was basically, in a sense, saying that like these characters are strong leaders. They're not strong fighters. No, don't get me wrong. These two characters don't look like fighters. They look like advisors instead. But they're very important figures that's going to help them in the march against the Black King. And like I said before, the Black King is this new nemesis that's being involved here. But like I said though, Hannibal and Scipio are going to be very important, prominent figures with the Drifters side, guys. Like I said, it's very interesting as to why these characters are going to be very entertaining, because like I said, in this anime episode, we are introduced to also the Ends, guys. And the Ends, guys, holy snap, the Ends. The Ends themselves, guys, are one fearful bunch of people. And the Ends themselves are basically like similar to the Drifters themselves, guys. But the Drifters, now we're getting more and more information, but the Drifters are actually, you could say, within the Octoberist organization side, basically, because you could tell that they're from Murasaki. Murasaki is the one that's actually bringing these characters, like these actual historical figures, into this brand new world, but he's letting them being used by the Octoberist organization, and that in itself makes the Octoberist organization a very good guys in a sense. Now granted, remember guys, Easy was like this witch looking character back in the last episode, and she's actually the one that's bringing in the Ends, and the Ends are these actual other historical figures that are much powerful than the Drifters themselves, guys, which gives the viewers another question that actually begs us to say, and that is, how are the Drifters gonna freaking beat the Ends, guys? The Ends in this episode were very well explained, and they were explained as to people with magical powers. They have strength in numbers. They're very experienced in combat. Unlike the Drifters, guys. The Drifters only have like a couple of people that are experienced in combat. But they don't have magical powers. It's just hilarious. Like, I'm just like thinking like, whoa, how are the drifters gonna fight against these foes? The only one that I could really think that's really gonna be a strong foe to actually be up against the ends themselves is Toyohisa, guys. That's the only one that I could think of. Holy snap. Like I said, the drifters just like they're at a very disadvantage, guys. Holy snap. That is hilarious in itself, guys. But granted though, guys, the episode did continue on throughout the whole kingdom of Carneadas. Sorry for mispronouncing that. Kingdom of Carneadas. And this is like basically the central figure of the October's organization's like home base, guys. And this home base was actually being pillaged while they were explaining as to who the drifters and who the ends are by the ends themselves, guys. And that was hilarious because the ends were taking control of this castle that the October's organization have taken control. And you're here wondering as to, because the episode explained that the kingdom of Carneadas was basically like the strongest stronghold, and if this gives out, there's nowhere else that you could say would be putting up a resistance against the ants. And that itself kind of explains a lot. Like I said, everything in the beginning is very explained very thoroughly, but it's begging the question again to us viewers as to how this story is going to go and progress, guys. Because wow, that means that the drifters themselves are going to be running around the country basically hiding within the ants, because it seems that the ants have now just monopolized the whole entire kingdom themselves, and now they are actually scattering themselves out to actually kill the drifters. And the ants themselves are aware of the drifters as well, guys. Like I said, it's just it's very interesting at how they are, guys. Very interesting. But let's get to it as to who got introduced as well on the drifters and the ants, guys. For the drifters, the other ones was Naoshi Kano, and this guy was a Shinsengumi fighter pilot, and holy cow, this character is a badass. Oh my god, guys. And Anime Logic 101, if a character has a name or a title after his name called Shinsengumi, you know this character is not to be messed around with, guys. This character knows how to get down. This character is not afraid to kill. But unluckily though, it's just the fact that, like I said, like I previously stated a couple minutes ago, is that the drifters themselves don't have magical powers. It's just like I said, it's very weird. But Naoshi Kano is a fighter pilot, so he knows how to do aerial dogfights. Which, granted, that is actually very interesting because the Kingdom of Carneadas that was introduced in this episode was being pillaged. And by the way, this whole episode was giving off a Lord of the Rings vibe, and this Lord of the Rings vibe was what gave us viewers very entertained. I'm assuming the author was kind of going through that route as well, guys, because due to that fact and reason, Lord of the Rings, whenever they're having like a war going on, it's very, very, very enticing for us fans and very eye appealing as well. And granted though, even the enemies themselves, there was dragons, hobgoblins, like these little orcs. It's like, it was like the lore of the Lord of the Rings is just involved in this episode. And like I said, Naoshi Kano, it's interesting how this character kind of fits in there, because he actually does kill the dragons in this episode. But other than that, I don't see how he's actually going to be facing off against anybody else. Now, moving on, we're going to go on to the Wild Bunch. And the Wild Bunch are basically American cowboys. And like I said, these American cowboys, they're pretty good with guns. They're like the only ones that actually have firepower out of the drifters. I mean firepower as like they could take out, like you could say, hordes of people, you know, because they have guns. But other than that, once they run out of guns, how are they gonna continue? Like I said, it's like some plot holes that are kind of like being thrown there. But like I said, it's entertaining us viewers because we're wondering how are they gonna do that. Are the Wild Bunch and Naoshi Kano, are these characters gonna get magical weapons? Are these characters gonna get like a magical power up, or I certainly don't know that, which by the way makes it very interesting in itself, guys. But like I said though, those are the drifters that were introduced in this episode. Now granted though, now we're introduced to the ends, guys. The Black King, which I gotta say in this episode, guys, so much symbolism on the Black King. Holy cow, guys, you guys have to look carefully at the Black King. The Black King, whenever he raises his hands, there's scars that are shown all over. At the end of the episode, you are seeing that he shows himself that there's a hole on his hand. This guy is Jesus. Jesus is the villain. Jesus is the freaking villain of this story, guys. Holy cow. What a twist, guys. I'm telling you, this is pretty interesting. Next up, we got Hijika, which seems to be like a, I'm assuming it's like a Japanese, I would say, samurai, I'm assuming. But it was weird as to how they kind of introduced it, because he was actually able to summon like these entities and these like spirits or something along the lines of that were able to chop up these like foot soldiers off of the October's organization. But like I said, how was he able to do that? Was that manifested of the soul, or like they didn't really give us that much information on what kind of powers that the ends are being able to capable of. And we also got introduced to Joanne of Arc, which, by the way, if you guys are very familiar with Joanne of Arc, she was basically a French peasant who was actually became a great leader. But it was actually interesting due to the fact that, though, we actually get introduced with her, is she has this magical ability of wielding fire, and she's able to burn her opponents. Like I said, we don't know how she's doing this. Like, how? Like, are the drifters able to do this as well? Like, they're able to get magical powers as well? Like I said, it just begs the question again. And then, last but not least, we got Anastasia Nikolaevna Romanova. Let me know if you guys have mispronounced that, but, like, wow. This character was very interesting and very, very mysterious as well, due to the fact that this character has the ability to freeze people. And like I said, whoa, major props to that, because a freezing power is overpowered in anime. But I'm granted, though, I'm still kind of curious as to how that character got that power as well. Like I said, this episode is very entertaining. Holy snap. But like I said, though, guys, at the end of the episode, that we are then just kind of introduced that basically Toyohisa, Yoichi, and Nobunaga, they don't want to deal with the, you could say, with a war that's going on in this brave new world, which is kind of interesting, because it kind of doesn't make sense. Why would they want to get involved with something that they don't even want to be a part of? And they're in this new world that they see that they could take over as well, and their instincts say that, you know, this world seems to be easy to take care of. But like I said, these three characters, I wonder how they're gonna go, since apparently they're so rebellious now. That cliche trope of saying, like, they're strong characters, they have this rebellious spirit in them. Very interesting. But like I said, I wonder how they're gonna go off in the next episode. And also, though, we are actually also getting a little bit of glimpse as to what the heck is going on now. And that's what I'm loving about this anime, guys. Loving it till the end. Loving it. But that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. That's all that the episode was really enticing us viewers with action, gore, and plenty of information. But let me know down in the comments below, what would you guys think about this episode? Or do you guys think the drifters are stronger than the ends, or are the ends stronger than the drifters? And personally, in my opinion, from this episode, I don't know yet because I haven't seen the other episodes, the ends look stronger due to numbers and sheer power. That's my opinion for right now. I don't know about next episode, or we don't know who else, but tactical wise, the drifters look like they actually are pretty powerful in tactical wise though. But like I said, guys, let me know down in the comments below on your opinions on what I just said. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, give a like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Drifters anime episode discussions. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day. But this is Mr. Zen, signing out.